Hello again, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Balls and Brew, the flagship sportscast here on the Morganino Podcast Network. I just said sportscast, sports podcast. Either way, we're talking sports on this one. Other podcasts on our network talk wrestling and pop culture. With me, as he is most every time I talk sports these days on Balls and Brew, joining us from North Carolina. He was once hospitalized for drinking too much milk. It's Chris King.
Hello, Internet. Hey, Rod. How's it going?
Now, you know these things that I say about you are actually true, and you can explain yourself if you want to. Do you care to explain yourself to the people how you got hospitalized for drinking too much milk?
It's much better as a mystery.
But it is true. You will at least admit that.
I will admit that maybe milk had an adverse effect that may have caused something to happen where I had to go to the hospital.
There we have it. So if that wasn't exciting news enough here at the top of the podcast, we are joined by our old 3&D buddy. 3&D rides again. He's an old friend of the Morganino Podcast Network. We love him to death. He's from Wisconsin. Wu-Tang, Matt Kozerski. Hello.
Hi.
Woo, brother. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm good. Just sitting here having a pudding pop, eating some Jell-O.
I bet you are. I think we're going to avoid that one on this one. Let's talk basketball. Other than that news, which was definitely a bombshell today, there was certainly a bombshell up in Milwaukee when Giannis went down last night. What's the mood up there in Wisconsin land?
Well, funny enough, in Scotty, as much as I love hoops, I think more people are concerned about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, bummer. So there wasn't like this thing where everybody at the gas station was all sad, huh?
Well, I didn't go to the gas station today, and at work there was minimal talk about the Bucks, but a little bit here and there. I one of my employees always wants to chat Bucks with me, but he's a bit of a downer.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the Bucks situation then?
I think they're going to actually still beat the Hawks.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to have Giannis for Game 5.
They're probably not going to have Giannis for the rest of the playoffs, but I think Chris Middleton's sneaky good. Drew Holiday, and they got a solid bench. I like Brian Forbes, however you say his name, B. Forbes. And, of course, bad Bobby Portis.
All right, Chris, I have a rule that if you describe somebody as their name and then you say their name again after just one word, it's usually not a great thing. So Wu-Tang's second defense there was Drew Holiday is Drew Holiday. All right, I want to just point that out.
Listen, if your NBA team is going to lean on Chris Middleton to lead you to win 2 out of 3 games against any other NBA team, you should be worried.
I think it will see. Here's the thing, though, and this kind of went unnoticed during the year.
Okay, preach it to us. I'm interested in this.
The Bucks, the way they played this year in the regular season is they were tinkering with lineups. They weren't. There's a reason why they had the best record the last 2 or 3 years, and this year I think they had the 3rd or 4th best record in the league. And I think it's because they were I know they were tinkering with lineups, and they were preparing for stuff like this. I think these guys are good to go. They had these games. They had a fair amount of games where Giannis didn't play a whole lot, and Coach Bud, who's jury's out on his ability to be a good coach, but I think he kind of prepped for this. So I got a good feeling.
So you like the Bucks as variable enough to overcome the Hawks. Chris, how much do you think Wu's factoring in here that Trae Young may also not be playing for the Hawks and just not mentioning that?
So last night's game threw me for a loop. I fully expected the Bucks to win that game. No matter what, really, I expected the Bucks to win that game. No Trae Young.
As did I. Cards on the table. As did I. I thought they were going to roll.
I thought Giannis was going to just do whatever he wanted to do, and the exact opposite happened. Atlanta came out with some desperation, it looked like, and they threw the first couple punches before Milwaukee knew what was going on. And watching Giannis airball, 2 free throws in a row is not something you want to see your superstar do, ever.
It certainly looked like a bad omen. And Wu, somebody else who was lighting up your Bucks a little bit, but I have a feeling you sort of were smiling about it. You have to love the game of Kevin Huerter in these playoffs, right?
Red Velvet. Red Velvet. He's the man. I actually really like his game a lot. He looks very unassuming. And he knows how to light up some of these teams. I've been watching the play. All year. He's he has some of these games where he drops 17, 18 points, hits about 3 or 4 threes, and plays solid defense and he plays the game right, Rod. He plays the game right.
I like to hear that. So as you said, you've been watching the playoffs and we haven't had you on. Who else impressed you throughout this playoff run that you want to get the chance to talk about here before the playoffs are over and done with?
Of guys that are still playing?
I mean, you can say guys that are still playing or somebody who was out. Just who when we talk about 2021 playoffs, some of your early thoughts are going to be what?
Luka, obviously.
Yeah, he was pretty hot, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I kind of feel bad for him because I'm a big Eastern European fan. And KP,
you are. You've always pulled for their basketball abilities.
Yeah.
Well, Dallas is kind of a dumpster fire right now. There's a lot of internal turmoil going on over there, I think.
Well,
there definitely is.
I think there's internal turmoil going on in just about every NBA franchise. I just think it comes out a little more now when you got arguably probably the best player in the league, and and he's only 22.
And why would a coach walk away from that, having the best player in the league?
Yeah.
A coach leaving a team he's won an NBA championship with in the past.
Listen, I'm a fan of Rick Carlisle, but at some point they just tune you out. Doesn't matter who you are.
I don't know. Something's up. I don't know if it's team upper management or Mark Cuban or the players themselves.
He's gotten way too much work done on his face. He looks kind of scary.
Whoa.
That aside, I think what's going on here, I think it's a combination of it. There's a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, a little bit from column C, right? I love Luka. This is a pro Luka podcast. We've talked about him for a while, ever since he was coming into the league as a rookie. We've been talking about him on these NBA shows. And I will say he on the court, fabulous. But we're gathering that he's a bit of a diva. We've talked about how often so many of these guys anymore are a bit divas. So I think Rick Carlisle, being old school as he is, a good, successful coach, considered one of the better coaches in the game, said to himself, you know what? I'm done dealing with this diva, and I'm also done dealing with another diva in his boss, Mark Cuban, right? Bit of a loose cannon, bit of, I'm not going to deal with this guy anymore. Why don't I go take myself another job with a team of no real huge front-running egos, with an owner who's completely hands-off, and now Rick Carlisle gets to just control all of the things in Indiana, and he certainly didn't control much other than the X's and O's on the court in Dallas.
I can agree with that, Rod. At some point though, you're gonna like you said, you're gonna have divas, and I think with a squad like Indiana is, they woefully underachieved. I think that's fair to say. They have some solid, they have a solid young nucleus, but you need a diva. You need some spunk if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna win some games. I mean, look at what Trae Young does with his spunk. Speaking of guys, I've enjoyed watching during the playoffs.
Do we know of him as a diva though? When I hear diva, it's not the charisma that someone's showing on the court. It's the entourage and shit that goes on in the locker room and in practice and shit like that makes it a diva. Not necessarily what happens on the court.
It's impossible to be that good at something and not be a diva.
I'll agree with a little bit of that, Wu. I don't want to make it as a complete blanket excuse for everybody, but I'll agree with you on a little bit of that for sure.
Yeah, you got a little chutzpah.
Nice.
Little bit of chutzpah.
I like that. See, I think there's definitely something to that, and I don't want to get too sidetracked on sounding like the old guys talking about the young players these days, which we can do. And we've mentioned Trae Young there. Chris, who's somebody else other than who ultimately is going to be our champion that we should look back on and said really, establish something new, a new identity for themselves in these 2021 playoffs?
Here's a guy that's still playing and has completely shocked me this playoffs because he really
Cameron Payne.
No, and not Cam Reddish.
He's actually
either.
pretty good, Wu, but I'm sure that's not what he's talking about.
No, I'm talking about DeAndre Ayton.
Nice.
We knew how good he was in college, but he hadn't shown that yet in the NBA. And this season, you saw flashes here and there, but nothing with any type of consistency. And then he's came into the playoffs, and this guy is close to being a 20-20 guy on a nightly basis in the playoffs. Impressive.
Yeah, he's looked really, really good. He really has. And in a league where we thought bigs were dead, Wu, he certainly seems like the kind of big you want to have, a guy who's pretty mobile and can maybe even step out and shoot a little bit of three every now and again, right?
Yeah, but I'm not going to completely agree that this is his coming out party. I think he had a pretty good year. I think last year he had a pretty good year too. And I think in terms of consistency, I think he's a pretty consistent, 15 and 10 guy. He's had a couple big stat games, but looking at him, throughout the last year or two, I mean, he's a stud. I mean, he plays the game right too. I kind of like that. And he's from the Bahamas.
Well, in Chris's defense, he did get suspended for 50 games last year for a PED suspension. So I mean, he was a little inconsistent last year when he wasn't on the court.
Well, but when he was on the court, is what I'm saying. And when he was on the court this year, especially too.
Well, yeah. Okay, so his rebounding has always really been there for me for the most part, and he's been close to, I think it was 14 and 10 for the season.
Oh, sorry, I was off a point.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying you were wrong, but what he's been able to do in the playoffs, getting 20, 24, 18, 19, that's not something that you were expecting coming into the playoffs.
Chris, let me ask you this. What I think he does is he really seems like he affects winning. And how much of that do you think we should credit to his association with Chris Paul? Because DeAndre sort of told us so.
Chris Paul deserves it. And listen, I was the guy that was claiming he needed to get less minutes at the beginning of the season. So I'll have to eat some crow on that one. And so yes, it helps, but it didn't show up to the playoffs. So that's what I think is important. He's shown up and improved and gone above expectations in the playoffs.
He certainly has. Wu, is there any other guys who come to your mind when you somebody who you're like, man, I didn't see this coming for him, and then they're playing the playoffs really impressed you? Because of course we knew Luka was good. He just took it to a supernova level.
Yeah. I mean, I think you pretty much can take any Phoenix Sun, put him on there to piggyback off Chris. I mean, aside from Ayton, Devin Booker has been a stud. Chris Paul, when he's played, has played well, getting him winning. Cameron Payne, I come to bring the pain. Cameron Payne, right? Cameron Payne, is that his name?
Yeah, that's it. He was not in basketball last year. Monty Williams called him up to a tryout just before the bubble, and look where he's at now. So Cam Payne is definitely a good story. Somebody else I wanted to make sure we shout out here, let's stick with the guys actually playing, is John Collins. I think is making himself a little bit of money here. He's coming up for a contract in the offseason. He's a restricted free agent, and he as well, playing off of what we were talking about there, has just seemed like a guy who produces winning plays. Right? Yep. He's not the guy who's putting up the most points for the Hawks all the time, but when they need a three, he seems to knock one down. When they need a rebound, he seems to be right there, and he seems to be all over the place on defense.
Not making mistakes.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. He's a good player. He's the kind of guy that any team wants if they're just missing that third piece. He's a good third piece.
He's going to cost the Hawks some money because I have a feeling somebody's going to, one of these smaller market teams that's got money is going to throw out a lot of money at him, and then the Hawks are going to say to themselves, we can't lose that asset, and so he's going to be costing them some money, I have a feeling.
Ye's going to Minnesota.
Wow.
Heard it from here first. They've been talking. Minnesota's had a fucking hard-on for him for the last year or two. They've been trying to get him in trades nonstop. Every time I read the trade blogs last couple of years, they want John Collins, and Atlanta about gave up on him because they didn't want to pay him, but I think they're gonna be stuck. I think they're paying him.
I would not want to go to Minnesota.
I don't know, man. I agree with you that Minnesota's awfully cold and they don't have a great track record to speak of, but I mean, they got Anthony Edwards looks like he could be something, man. There could be something brewing up there in Minnesota.
There is always something that could be brewing up there in Minnesota. All right, there was the Kevin Garnett
2 years away from being
there was
2
the
years
Kevin
away.
Love
You're right.
years. Now it's the Anthony Edwards years. It's the same thing all the time.
They got to get rid of D'Angelo Russell.
I think that there's a common thread with every team that D'Angelo Russell goes to, and it's pretty soon they want to get rid of D'Angelo Russell. So I agree with you there, Wu-Tang.
Yeah, just because he's left-handed.
Let's go to what we've talked about Phoenix. So I guess do none of us give the Clippers any chance of, as we tape right now, it's halftime and the Clippers are losing by about 10 to Phoenix right now. So do none of us give the Clippers a chance of coming back here and we think Phoenix is going to punch its ticket to the finals?
Yeah, I think Phoenix has it. They announced today that Kawhi is out for the series no matter what. So there's no chance of him playing. And you'll get playoff P, and he'll find a way to miss a crucial shot or some free throws, and I think the Suns will pull it out.
This is some Paul George slander, though, that seems a little unfair based on his play in the last couple of games for the Clippers. But, you might not be wrong. They certainly are losing right now. Wu, what do you think? Do you think the Clippers can come back? Steely nerve Ty Lue, who is undefeated in elimination games right now as a coach.
Well, I think Ty Lue is pretty overrated as a coach, number one.
Wow, that's tough, man. With some of the adjustments he's made this playoffs and how the Clippers keep coming back, that's a tough call, Wu. I'm just being honest. I'm not calling you wrong. I'm just saying that's a tough call.
No, I'm gonna claim that. I'm gonna claim I think Ty Lue is probably one of the most overrated coaches in all the NBA.
Wow. Wow. Shots fired. Listen, I apologize to any of Ty Lue's family members who may be listening to this podcast. That was just some stray shots that he took right there. But,
And
we bring him on for one reason, to fire off opinions, and he gave us one, and I respect it.
I really kind of agreed with Wu until this year's playoffs. He has done, I think, a remarkable job in the playoffs, like you said, Rod. Leading any team in 2 series in a row, being down 0-2 and winning those series, that's some coaching. I don't care who you are.
I don't want to hear that, Jazz. Then that's like saying Coach Bud is a great. I mean, is Frank Vogel a great coach because he won a championship with LeBron?
I mean, if reports are to be deserved, he was the one who came in and told the Lakers they need to play defense, and he launched the defensive philosophy, and somehow he got all those guys to buy into it. And if you look at the Lakers' defensive stats in the bubble, that's how they won the championship.
Well, again, I'm not buying. I'm not.
But we'll see what it sounds to me like, and I think this is a nice little side step we're going to do here. What it sounds to me like, Wu, is you're not willing to give coaches too much credit for anything, which is okay, right? It's difficult for some people to admit that a coach is good because it is a players' league, and it matters more that you have good players. But at the same time, I think we need to try to recognize that even with good players, there are certain coaches that make better moves than others.
I think that's fair to say, but I also think, on the flip side of that, when I see good coaching, I see when they have shitty players and they coach those guys up and they actually play well.
That's just becoming tougher and tougher to do in our team up stars league these days, though, isn't it, Wu? Because I agree with you that I'd love to see that too, but don't you think it's becoming tougher and tougher these days?
No, I don't know if I agree. I mean, I think there's certain coaches out there that Rick Carlisle is a prime example, right? I mean, granted they're not winning championships, but like when you look at the rosters that he's been given, he still has a solid record. Pop hasn't had much in the last couple of years, and they're still they're competitive and really.
So Larry Brown then. Larry Brown is one of the greatest coaches in NBA history, according to you then, because of the way his ability to take a ragtag bunch always and lead them. And then he even won a title with the most ragtag bunch.
Bad News Bears. He's like Coach Buttermaker.
I do love Larry Brown. He just got hired as an assistant somewhere.
Yeah, he did.
Memphis with Penny Hardaway. Because Penny decided he didn't want to coach the Magic. Because I don't think anybody's going to coach the Magic.
Yeah, what does that say about that job?
With an interim coach, they're just gonna go week to week interim coach with different ones that are assistants, assuming the lead role.
Yeah. What happened to the Magic? Jesus.
Yeah, Steve Clifford was like, you know what? I'm good. I think I might be able to get a job somewhere else. I'm out of here.
Yeah. It's like, you see what they do, and they basically give Vooch away for pennies.
Yeah, they develop people and then trade him away for next to nothing constantly.
Yeah, and then they draft these dudes like Mo Bamba who sits on the bench, a bunch of fucking small forward, power forward guys that I can't even name because they're all essentially the same.
Did they develop Aaron Gordon though? Because I don't know that he helped the Denver Nuggets much in the playoffs. I watched Nikola Jokic giving about everything he could to the Denver Nuggets, and it still wasn't good enough. And Aaron Gordon was putting up like 8 points, 6 rebounds.
Victor Oladipo.
What's Victor doing for anybody right now?
Well, no, but
you guys want to talk overrated. These guys. I mean, what's Vucevic doing for the Bulls? The Bulls actually tanked after they got Vucevic. I mean, what are we talking about here?
He's still a talent.
Fournier went to the Celtics and got COVID. That's on the Magic too.
I think it was like one of those like biological weapons. They said they knew he had the bug.
We got to get him out of here. Send him to Boston.
Yeah, Boston. That's another shit show.
Really? See, I kind of like Ime Udoka. Again, if things are to be believed, and these people that know about coaching, this guy's been real close on a lot of jobs, and it's a real trusted assistant, and comes from your guy, Wu, the pop tree.
No, I'm not. I don't know what they're gonna do as a team. I mean,
okay, so you're still talking roster wise. What's President Brad Stevens, who Bill Simmons used to joke and call him President Brad Stevens. Now he is President Brad Stevens. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like they could have got a better deal for Kemba. I like that.
Really? Yeah. You think you could have gotten positive value out of Kemba? And Chris will have you weigh in on this too.
No, I think you could have. I think. I mean, I do like that Moses Brown guy, right? Moses Brown. But what are they going to do with Horford? Are they going to? I read something that they might waive him, or stretch him or something. Jesus, and you know what's going to happen? I'm having a brain issue right now. Who did they get him from? Not New Orleans.
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna straight up. Number one, they got some picks and everything from them, and they're gonna straight up trade Kemba probably before he even suits up this year and get more picks, and they're gonna make a better trade for Kemba than what Boston did.
Chris, what do you think?
I think Boston's had a roster issue for a couple of years, especially. I think they are way too heavy on wings with no true facilitator and no true defensive big or a true stretch big. And I think those are two things that they desperately need. A facilitator, like a true facilitator, and at least a defensive big, if nothing else.
Al Horford's a pretty good defender. Al Horford can shoot the three a little bit. I think Al Horford's going to play 1 year for the Celtics because, as we stated, you can't completely tank with Tatum and Brown on the wing like you were saying. So Horford's going to play 1 year for him, and then that next year of his contract is non-guaranteed. Well, and Kemba's got more years on it than that. So Celtics at least save themselves some money there. And Wu, I love what you're saying in theory, but I think in practice you're going to find that Kemba Walker doesn't have that much value. And I'll tell you why. It goes all the way back to the Hornets just letting him go. We should have known right then and there when the Hornets let their franchise player go based on the fact that they turned around and gave a bunch of money to Gordon Hayward, who was already banged up himself, that, okay, Kemba Walker, we can't deal with this guy's knees, because that's shown itself to be true ever since he left Charlotte.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's true. And listen, I love Kemba Walker. But he's old and his knees are not going to hold up. And I think Horford is really aging a bit much too. I think they've been trying to find a real facilitator, but they can't because you got Brown, Tatum, and Smart.
Smart's probably not long for this team. Something definitely is still ahead, I think, because frankly they freed up a little bit of salary cap room anyway, bringing in Horford because he makes a little less money than Kemba right straight off the top.
They need to trade Tatum or Brown, I think.
Oh, wow. You're not trading Jason Tatum, and I don't think you're trading Jaylen Brown either. I think you're trading Marcus Smart on the fringes. You're doing a couple other moves. You're giving Evan Fournier more money than he's worth, but he's going to be pretty good for you coming off the bench, maybe playing a backup wing role when you need it. I think the Celtics are going to be fine. Woo, let's touch on a couple of the other new coaching moves as well. What do you think about Chauncey Billups or Jay Kidd down in Dallas? Touch on either one you want to.
I think out of the two, I think Chauncey has the best situation to be a good coach. I think Jason Kidd's another woefully overrated coach. So it kind of bothers me when all these people talk about how great of a coach Jason Kidd is, but we've seen him coach and he is shitty.
Your guy Giannis vouches for him.
It doesn't matter.
LeBron vouches for him. Yeah, actually, that's not going to matter to you. You could care less if LeBron vouches for him.
That's perfect that LeBron vouches for him because that just means he does whatever LeBron says. He's a LeBron puppet.
There's a lot of LeBron puppets out there in the NBA these days. Chris, how about you? What do you think? Do you think it's odd that Wu went with Chauncey Billups just based on coaching ability and not maybe went to Luka based on he's the best player that a coach just got who took a new job?
No, because I'm going with Chauncey just because I love saying Chauncey. And
that's the dynamite insight people are looking for when they come here to Balls Brew.
I definitely trust Chauncey better. I always seem to think that players who were successful but not necessarily like a superstar always end up making better coaches in the NBA than the superstar does as a coach in the NBA. I mean, there are some exceptions to the rule, but not many.
All right, let's go. Let's do a couple of quick little prediction things here with Wu while we got him. So, Wu, you think, I'm guessing, Phoenix is in the championship, even though I wouldn't call that over yet. Clippers are only down by 6, and we got about just under 11 minutes left to go. So, just the start of the third quarter here. So, we got plenty of game left in that. So, I'm guessing you've already said your hand there, Phoenix. You said you think Milwaukee's got it. Who do you think's going to win the championship then, Wu?
I think Phoenix is going to do it.
Wow.
I hate to go against my Bucks, but I think they're going to put up a good fight. I do. I think
Suns in 4, right? Suns in 4 if they're going to put up a good fight then, right?
I think whoever comes out of the East and plays the Suns will put up a good fight. I think it's going to be really entertaining, actually. Especially, as much as I'd love to see the Bucks get to the championship, my Sans Giannis. I think it'd be kind of fun to watch the Hawks play Phoenix. I think it's kind of an interesting matchup. I think they kind of match up equally at their different positions. They're both young. They're both real young teams that are really too dumb to realize like how hard it is to make it to the championship game. Like how the chips have to fall just perfectly. They play without abandon.
I like that. Chris, how about you?
I think it'll be the Suns and the Hawks, and I think the Suns will win. I think the Suns will win no matter who they play out of the East. And I think it'll probably be close to a gentleman's sweep no matter who they play.
Wow, look out. Okay, then I'm going against both of you guys. I'm going Clippers, Bucks. I'm going Clippers come back and win this game versus Phoenix and win game 7. I'm going Clippers v. Bucks, and it was revealed that Giannis has no structural damage to that knee, so I think that definitely means he'll play at some point in the finals, and Giannis has proven himself to be almost an alien throughout most of his career in that almost nothing hurts him, so if there's no structural damage, he'll end up being 80% of Giannis, and that will be tough for the Clippers to beat. And I think Giannis wins the championship here. And I think we'll look back years from now, even after all of this hand-wringing and bitching and complaining that we did about this year's playoffs and all the injuries. And while all of that is true, I think Giannis and the Bucks winning a championship will then just be like, oh, well, that was just the start of Giannis's Bucks winning championships. Or it was at least Giannis got one, right? I think that if the Bucks win this championship, all of the hand-wringing we've done will sort of be washed over.
The only thing I think that would stop that from happening, Rod, besides what I think Wu realized that the fix may be in by the NBA trying to get Chris Paul that championship that he deserves.
That's true. You look at you. You're throwing catnip out there to Wu near the end, talking conspiracy to him, Chris. Look at you.
There might have been an Illuminati sacrifice, so you never know.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. There was conspiracy, Wu.
He does hang in those circles.
I know he does. Let's go to wild prediction, Wu. Here, all right. We've heard that.
Do you know how much money insurance companies have?
They have lots of money.
You tell me State Farm doesn't have a vested interest in Chris Paul winning the NBA championship.
Well, they certainly do, and they certainly pay a lot of money to the NBA.
Oh yeah, they do.
All right. Well, hey, listen, you
right
may be
there.
onto something there. Let's go to you making a wild prediction that actually may benefit all of us. How about we know Ben Simmons supposedly is going to be moved. We've heard maybe Damian, Lillard might want to get out of town, and we know Bradley Beal has maybe been rumored to be out of town. What's the wildest thing that's going to happen this offseason, Wu? Give us your shot in the dark here, if we're to borrow a double deck euchre term.
Ooh, shoot the moon, double deck euchre. I'm going to go with something a little off the wall. I think we're going to see a Laker get traded. A Laker by the name of Anthony Davis. I think they're
That was definitely wild.
I think or LeBron. I wouldn't even be shocked if they finally move away from him. I have a strong suspicion that the Lakers, like LeBron, well, I should say, like LeBron isn't probably too thrilled with Mr. Anthony Davis's conditioning, and I think he probably blames him a little bit for not winning the championship this year, getting ousted in the first round. And
okay, well, first off, I like LeBron, but I think he really laid down the foundation and the groundwork to fail this year early on by complaining about the schedule and the structure and the short off season, because he's getting older, and I think that showed a little bit this season, and especially in the playoffs.
LeBron takes no responsibility. Zero. He's blaming Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis is getting shipped out. Him and Kyle Kuzma to Portland for Melo and Dame Lillard.
Wow, that is incredible. Kyle Kuzma, take your yellow hair up to Portland. See how they like it up there.
They probably love it out there.
Chris, how about you? Chris, you and I will be able to do some more Ball and Brew episodes over the summertime as some of these moves actually do go down. But right now you're shoot the moon, and yes, Woo, thank you. You're right, shoot the moon to borrow the double deck term.
My shoot the moon was very similar to Wu-Tang's. I almost don't want to say it. But it wasn't Anthony Davis being traded. I thought the Lakers were going to make a deal with Portland to do a sign and trade for Damian Lillard. And I think
involving Schroeder.
Yeah, and possibly a couple other of the younger guys, and then maybe even Kyle Kuzma if they wanted him.
Who are they going to give up? Who are they going to give up?
Listen, I see guys with no names getting traded all the time.
They have no picks.
And
That's the whole thing. They have 0 picks to give.
I didn't say anything about picks, but a sign and trade is still much better than losing Lillard for nothing.
They're not losing.
That won't happen though because
Lillard's
he's got a bunch
contract.
of years left on his deal.
He's got 5 years left on his deal.
But Chris, what I will back you up with this, okay? If Dame Lillard does go to Portland and says he wants to go, and the Lakers are where he wants to go, he's going to end up going to the Lakers because we've seen that. We've seen that.
Yeah.
And my next thing is after that happens, Anthony Davis will drop Clutch Sports.
Yeah, oh yeah, you think?
Oh yeah, I seriously think it's going to happen. I think.
Well, not if he's still in LA though.
No,
Chris isn't saying Davis would get traded.
There's no way Portland's going to take Schroeder, a bunch of fucking nickels, and no draft picks.
What did Houston take for James Harden?
A bunch of draft picks, like 5 draft picks, and
see, but this narrative needs to stop as well. This draft pick narrative needs to stop as well because essentially all that's happening is it's giving guys an excuse to stay on their job. Well, look, I got all these picks that may be something a few years from now, and then the picks end up being nothing. The picks are nothing.
They're always such and such protected.
Say that to the Warriors. Say that to the Warriors who've been nothing but hoarding random picks, and then they turn one into James Wiseman.
Who they don't even want, who didn't play well for them last year.
If you're going to talk about people using picks wisely, you got to talk about the Jazz. They're the best in the NBA at it. And they're using other people's throwaway picks and getting those types of guys. But I'm with Rod. I think when they're throwing all these picks in, and you're like, look, we have all these assets coming to us that could be worth a whole lot more than this X amount of people that we just got rid of.
Sam Presti's got 27 draft picks in the next 3 years, and he can't get all those guys on his roster, and then guess what? He's still not going to be able to get anybody to come to Oklahoma City because they don't care about the 27 draft picks he has.
What I don't get is second-round draft picks trades. I mean, I'm all for...
Yes, you do, because you've done fantasy trades before, and you want every last little dime you can get in any trade you do with anybody else, and that's how second-round picks get involved. You totally understand that.
And in the NBA, you have to match dollar amounts, correct, Rod? And so there's a set dollar amount to that.
At least within 80% of it, I believe.
Yeah. So you throw in that second-round pick to reach that threshold.
I don't think that happens. No, because second-round picks don't count against any sort of cap.
No,
but
Chris
in
is
a
right.
trade
There's
scenario,
every draft pick you have counts as sort of a cap hold when you go into that particular offseason that the draft pick is going to be made.
Not a second-round pick, because second-round picks, you don't...
Oh, yeah, you're right. They're not guaranteed.
Nothing's guaranteed.
I thought there was still a dollar of value assigned to
first-round picks. Wu's right.
Picks.
First-round picks have a dollar value attached to the draft pick because it's guaranteed. So then that roster
they know
slot
exactly
will be
how
against
much
your
it's
cap at
be.
the beginning of the year. Yeah.
Thanks to Glenn Big Dog Robinson, they don't negotiate with
that's right
draft picks anymore.
He was like the last guy. They were like, we're not doing this. We are not doing this anymore.
Right out of college, I'll give you a 15-year deal worth $100 million.
Shout out to great deals though, because we are recording this on Bobby Bonilla Eve. We'll shout out baseball here real quick at the end of Balls and Brew. Chris, you know Bobby Bonilla Eve. Wu-Tang, do you know what we're talking about here?
Still getting paid.
Ah, nice.
$1 million a year.
1.2 even, right?
Is it 1.2?
1.2, yeah.
All I know is it's been going on for about 22 years now.
Well, the actual, this part of the buyout started in 2011. Even though he hasn't played in closer to 20 years, this part of the buyout started in 2011.
Yeah. Smartest contract ever in baseball from a player's perspective.
That's like 2011 till 2027, I believe it is, maybe, that he was going to get paid $1.2 million a year, even though he hasn't played in 20 years. Shout out to Bobby Bo. Like you said, Wu, contracts.
Yeah, contracts are where it's at. And you got to have smart... the other night I was sitting there when I was watching watching one of the playoff games. I was curious about restricted free agents, and I found an interesting list, and it named their who their agent actually was. And some of these dudes have like an agent that has like one or two guys, and then some of these dudes have like, there was one guy, I think, whoever has Andre Drummond, I remember he had like 15 all-stars, like 7 max players, like the total contracts that he made just from basketball. And I think I read a little more on this guy. He had baseball and football players.
Drew Rosenhaus?
No, he was the highest one. This guy was like right below Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah, because Drew Rosenhaus has a lot.
Yeah,
and they're all top tier talents.
Yeah, this guy was right behind him. And
didn't Evan tell us that he represents Chris Bryant?
Who, Rosenhaus?
Yeah.
Probably.
No. Boris represents Bryant.
Oh, Boris. Scott Boris.
Maybe Scott Boris is the one.
See, there's a different one for every sport, right? Not too many of them cross over. Rosenhaus is the football guy. Boris is the baseball guy. And then I'm struggling for the NBA guy's name, right? There's another one other than Clutch Sports. It's basically CAA.
David Falk used to be the basketball guy.
Well, because he was just Jordan, though. He didn't have a huge stable. Yeah,
but this guy, I mean, like.
How did we get on agents, by the way?
$3 billion. $3 billion, I think, is, like all his players brought in, and he gets like 5% of that.
Well, now listen, that's easy money, but you also want to talk where there's a whole boatload of money. We're just throwing out facts here. From 2000 to 2009, the Dave Matthews Band made $480 million touring the United States.
Yeah, they got some of my money.
Yeah, they got some of mine too.
Got some right. I peed on Boyd Tinsley's tour bus.
There you go.
I did, on his actual tour bus. No, it's
That's incredible. You never know what's coming when Wu-Tang comes on the pod. That's why we love you.
Real story. I was in the back. I was in the green room, whatever. But it wasn't really a green room because it was outdoors. But it was. That's
awesome.
The green room, yeah. And I peed on his bus. You should have saw his bus, man.
I bet it was nice.
Oh yeah, it was
$480 million will buy you a nice bus if you want it.
Yeah, his very own bus. Yeah, peed on it. Drank some free booze. Enjoyed it. I was really afraid to piss on the floor. I didn't want to.
So you were being extra careful?
Being extra careful. Yeah.
Nice. Almost like you were at a shooting range. You're like, I really got to look at this target.
Yeah, I was really focused. Really focused. I'm like, all right, I'm thinking here. I'm focused.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
tell
well,
you what. When Wu first said that he peed on the bus, I thought he was standing outside of the bus peeing on it.
No, I peed inside. It had like a fucking like a mirror that like moved to open up the bathroom, some shit like that.
Makes it look bigger that way.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. what looks bigger?
No, the bus inside the dang it.
There's only
the
one
sitting
reason
area,
for mirrors.
the sitting area, right? If you're sitting like at the let's say where he's chilling out in his little couch area up front, right? And then you have the mirror in front of the bathroom. It just looks like a much bigger bus area to hang out in. That's
Listen,
what I
these
meant.
are
But
rock
good work,
stars.
Lou.
There's only two things they use mirrors for, and it's not to make the bus look bigger.
That's probably true too. Another good call. See, there we go. We got off on a little nonsense. We was going to give you a chance to just, any kind of parting shot you wanted for us here at the end, because we love whenever you can come on, and we don't know when the next time will be.
I don't really have any parting shots. I think.
Are you excited for Fast 9?
No.
No.
Not
no,
at
he
all.
says.
God, no.
All right. Are you excited to go back to theaters for anything, or are you done with theaters as a concept?
Well, I promised Thad that I would take him to Space Jam Legacy.
Okay, so you're not just going to get it on HBO Max.
Well, I'll probably watch it on HBO Max, but his whole deal is he loves going to the theater and he loves Space Jam 1, and he's got a bit of he's ready to go see LeBron.
You gonna take him to an IMAX for it?
I'll take him to wherever I can fucking get in. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even if we even have an IMAX theater. I don't know, dude.
Chris, what do we think about this? That Wu-Tang has to take his son to a LeBron James movie. What do we think about this? Should we be giving him some ribbing on this? Should we say that he's not even allowed to go because of all the smoke he's thrown LeBron's way? Like, how do we feel about this?
No, we should make him give all his money to LeBron. So it's good karma.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got to go pay actual box office prices as penitence for all the smoke you've thrown at LeBron, Wu.
No, I'm actually making Thad pay with his piggy bank money.
Here we go.
That's so wrong. That is so wrong.
I told him if he's gonna waste his money on
Oh.
This is the Wu that we know and love.
Wow.
Just coming right back to the smoke, aimed directly at LeBron.
I hope LeBron feels good that he's taking some kid's money.
You're making your son pay for your pettiness.
Well, LeBron has little kids make his shoes. So
Wow. Listen, speaking of that, though, I've been there. Van wanted some Kyries in a shoe store once, and I was like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. You're not wearing Kyries. That's not happening.
Dude, actually,
You don't want him to turn into a flat earther, dude.
Exactly.
Thad had a couple pair of Kyries, and they were actually pretty sweet, and they held up really well.
Yeah, I got to get him some shoes that actually hold up, and Nikes are fine, but they're just not going to be the Kyries. We're not doing the Kyries. That's not happening.
I know I'm not part of the Balls and Brew podcast when you guys talk about shoes, but I actually, if I had to choose out of my favorite shoes, I love the Kyries. I love any iteration of a Kyrie
we haven't actually had a shoe podcast yet. That's all.
I know, Chris. I was about to say I
camera.
love Wu-Tang's move of coming on here and acting as if we tell him he can't come on the podcast ever, when he's the one that can just never schedule any time to come on. I love how he loves to paint that picture when he comes on.
Hey, I scheduled time to get on today, didn't I?
You sure did.
I
think there's probably an opening on the shoe podcast now versus somebody we thought was going to be on it before. So you know what, Wu, you might be able to make the cut when that one happens.
Yeah, well, give me plenty of heads up. Well, once all this shit's done around the house. By the way, my sod, I sodded, and I was a little worried because we had a bit of a drought here, and now it's been nothing but raining for like 5 days straight, and the sod is just coming in beautifully. It's glorious.
Looking lovely.
I love sod.
All right. Well, you can sit out on your back porch up there in lovely Scotty and drink a brew. Oh, excuse me, man, goodness. I coughed just at the sheer beauty of the sight of you on a rocker on your back porch with that lovely sod and a little beer in your hand and watching the Milwaukee Bucks go on to the NBA Finals, Wu-Tang. I can see that future for you.
You know what I could see? If one of my oldest and dearest friends would just make the drive and come up and visit me in Wisconsin one of these days.
One of these days, my friend, we will make our way up to the Scotty. One of these days, we will actually drive north of the Indiana border and go check something out and stop driving south. We will drive north for one time when we leave the South Bend, Mishawaka area.
Yeah, there's a lot to do in Appleton, Wisconsin, but we have kids, so we would just hang out at my house.
Right, exactly. But we'd have to go get some cheese at least somewhere.
Oh yeah, cheese curds. We'd get all kind. Dude, I'd take you to this place called Simon's Cheese. Shout out to Simon's Cheese if you guys want to sponsor the show.
Shout
out. They have every kind of cheese you can imagine, and cheese curds, cheese whips.
A lot of good milk up there too, Chris. I mean, we're tying back to the beginning of the podcast. A lot of good milk up there. Are you cool? Are you able to drink milk, or did you have to cut that out of your diet based on the last trouble we had?
I will never stop drinking milk. And Wisconsin is definitely known for its dairy products.
Hey, Chris, got a question. Strawberry milk, yay or nay?
It's always my third choice.
Wow.
But what do you put banana milk fourth?
Yeah, dude, banana milk is
gross. I'll agree with that. I think we can all. Rod, can you agree with that? That banana
I don't know.
milk
What is banana milk? I don't know. I've ever had that.
They have
think
banana
it's
flavor.
exactly what you think it is, and it's not very good.
It's fucking gross.
I was gonna say
It's
they
really
just take
bad.
bananas and mash them up and then call that milk. Is that basically what you're
it's
drinking?
like banana flavored milk. It's like strawberry milk or chocolate milk. It's just banana milk.
So just say, that would be gross. Yeah. See, I used to think chocolate milk was the best of all milks, and it still is. But strawberry is number 2, and then regular milk is just not even really on the list for me.
What about would you count eggnog as a milk?
Yes.
No, it's a nog. It's not a milk. It's a nog.
It's a dairy product. It's more milk than anything else.
It's a nog. Why? It's not eggnog
It's
is
a
not a thing.
nog.
Nog is a thing. There's other kinds of nogs out there. You just like the
No,
particular egg type
name
for
me
Christmas.
2 other nogs.
I think
I don't know.
I think they call it eggnog because there's cinnamon in it.
I haven't done a lot of studying into Big Nog, Chris, all right? I'm sorry. They haven't gotten their claws into me like they've gotten it into you, apparently. I just like it around Christmas time.
You can't claim there are other nogs and then not.
There
Has to be other Nogs.
No,
there just has to be.
I think it's like saying deviled egg. It's like, because it's spicy, I think nog has to do with cinnamon.
Oh, so you think it's a type of preparation?
Yeah, I would venture to say.
Okay.
I'm fairly confident that.
All right, we have got way off the beaten path here, but that you can just tell all of us we're excited to get back and pod together once again. So, Chris, I will give you the final word here in just a second, but I will say to everyone, I believe this is going to be out before the 4th of July. So have yourself a happy 4th of July weekend. Celebrate America 1776 in honor of our independence, fireworks, all of the above. Enjoy yourself, and we will be back. I think we're probably going to have a Yeah We Know do up for you here next, and then we got a Morgan You Know cooking between me and the Mrs. Morgan You Know. I'm not sure. One of those two will be coming at you next week. Enjoy your 4th of July, and as always, the final word goes to Chris King.
Goodbye, Internet.